Remember when you were young, you shone like the sun, shine on you. Oh, I didn't know you were there. Hello, you retards and fuckheads, and welcome to another exciting edition of my show. Today we're not gonna cover the news of the day. We're gonna shift topics to narcissism. Well, not even narcissism. Narcissism. I would call it the cluster B women that you have to be careful of in this world, or they will destroy your lives. And I'm not lying to you. These women will destroy your lives. I want you to look at something before I start my big spiel. Take a look. Do you know what this is? I'll tell you what it is. Those of you who don't live in Korea don't know. It's a bottle of soju. You can get a bottle of soju for like $1.60 or $1.70 in the supermarkets. It's alcohol. 2 bottles of this will knock you right on your ass. Today I had 2 bottles of this. And I also ate I'd say about 1.5 pounds of pork while I was drinking this. And usually I don't do that. You say, I got a job and whatnot, so I can't afford to be an alcoholic. I don't have the time. So you might say, why? Why, Jack Wood? Why would you drink 2 bottles of soju? It's because my wife called. And when you're married to one of these cluster B personality types, this is what you do. You drink. Because when they come over, even though we're separated, and we're supposed to have been divorced a long time ago, even though she won't divorce me, you know that when they come over, it's going to be nothing but drama. And I say cluster B personality types because it's a vanilla milkshake. Well, I don't know if it's vanilla. It's a milkshake where they all blend together. Like, here are the 4 of them. It's the histrionics, the psychopaths, the borderlines, and the narcissists. And one day you'll meet they'll be narcissistic. But that doesn't mean they're just narcissistic. They're also capable of going into hysterics, which makes them histrionic. And they're also capable of a fear of abandonment, which makes them borderline. They're also capable of a complete lack of empathy, which makes them psychopathic. And that's why when I hear that my wife calls and says, I'm coming over tomorrow, I don't like it. Who would like it? I mean, it's nothing but drama, right? You say, like, why is she coming over? Well, I got a check from the IRS, my tax returns. Half of it's in her name, half of it's in my name. I need the signature. I give half to her, I keep half. That's why she's coming over tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you something. Don't be fooled by these psychiatrists or psychologists either, because they've never lived with one of these women. I was listening to Dr. Phil the other day talking about borderlines. He said, well, he talks in one of those southern accents. He said, well, people, they can't help themselves. They don't want to be borderline. So we have to feel sympathy for them. And I'm going to tell you this right now. You can feel sympathy for them while they're cutting you into little pieces after they killed you. That's how crazy they are. I'm talking about self-preservation here, So I would say I'd be careful with the whole sympathy thing and whatnot. Yeah, because if they're a borderline, then they're also going to display narcissistic and psychopathic traits. I'm telling you that right now. Anyway, What else was I going to say today? Oh, I was going to say this. Let me tell you this. That well, I guess I wasn't going to say anything else. But I will say this. Look, if you are married to one of these women and you're seeing these signs of violence where they might come home and they're angry, not like a normal angry woman where they'll throw a few things in the kitchen and throw them on the counter. When they start like punching you, calling you a cunt, kicking you, breaking your glasses. And if you don't have any kids, you got to go. I know it's hard because, you might disappoint your family. You might be a newlywed. You might say, well, look, I just married her 2 weeks ago and she broke my glasses. And I don't want to tell my mom or dad that I'm getting divorced so early. Fuck that. You got to tell them. It's not working out. That's what you have to do. You have to tell them that. Because when they have children, they don't get better. They get worse. And what they start doing is abusing the children. And it causes huge friction, as you can imagine. As you can... Look, I've got 2 kids who want nothing to do with their mother. All right? Nothing to do with her. This has nothing to do with the relationship between me and my wife. These are my kids, and that's their mother. And they're like, look, we don't want anything to do with her. Right? So if you just got married and she's showing those signs, I'm telling you, I know it's hard. You got to go. It's hard for me too. I'm leaving in January. And, my wife left me about a year ago. She drained the bank account, took off, put all her stuff in a moving van, and went back to her wherever she went, another city far away. And then when I talk to her from occasion, because I try to avoid her, we have children together, so I can't always avoid her. She's always the victim. That's called projection. Projection is when they switch things around on you. Like they'll say, even though she left me, she'll say, why'd you leave me? And I say to her, I didn't leave you. They might break your jaw with a tire iron and they'll say, why did you punch me? And you say, I never punched you. You broke my jaw with a tire iron. And the main thing I'm going to tell you is this, is get away before you have kids. Get out. Like the Amityville Horror. Get out. Get out. You remember that movie? Some of you don't. I'm pushing 60. I'm going to be 56 soon. So some of you probably don't remember that movie where the demon's like, get out, get out. And your reply should be, yes, I'm going to get out. Because once those kids come, you're done. You can't leave anymore because you got to protect them. Now I'm going to tell you this one thing before I go. If you have kids to one of these cluster B women, you can't leave. You can't leave until they're old. First of all, these cluster B women will come after you. Like if you leave and your kid's 12 years old, she's going to sue you and get custody just to spite you, even though she hates the children. They all hate the children, by the way. I don't care what Dr. Phil says. Well, let me do my southern accent again. Hold on one second. Well, these women can't help themselves. Bullshit. They're evil. And once you have children with them, you can't leave them either. You got to stay there or you're going to put them in serious jeopardy. Anyway, I'm going to go. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I'm a little bit drunk, but maybe I will. So long. Bye-bye.